You just give them the guidelines and the green line, and then I'm sure that they will bring you lots of sponsors.
It's a very good idea. Comes the marketing team, comes a lot of funding needed to support this. However, we will try. And in the meantime, I think to rely on our existing networks and existing sort of partnerships to enhance the existing network to start with. Then it will evolve naturally. So,
Dr. Nagim, you are really right. We need this. Next month, here in Amman, we will have our General Assembly, where we are going to meet 260 rectors and presidents from the Arab world. We are going to meet at Middle East University here in Amman. And of course, we are inviting not only the Arab presidents and rectors, we are inviting all the regional and the international organization and association for this meeting. And we will declare the opening of Arelen, and we will ask your help, and then we will circulate, and it will be on our website for Arelen. Then we will ask the presidents or the rectors to nominate some rectors or vice rectors for the upcoming workshop. And then we will have some fees, and that will cover the cost of this. But you are right, we have to work hard on this until everybody knows about it. Dr. Lutfi and then Dr. Gamal مرة ثانية. Dr. Lutfi, please.
I just have one comment, if I may. I'm hearing very good questions from the floor that would enrich the discussions of the governance and advisory board and the steering committee. And I think if the panel could shed some light on the role of the governance and advisory board and the steering committee, this might answer most of the questions. Like, for example, the question is about a marketing campaign. That's the role of the steering committee. The questions about the direction of Arelen and the sustainability of Arelen, this is a discussion that will take place in the governance board. So, if you...
Yes. Dr. Gamal, just a minute. The mic is coming. Aziz, please.
I think also it's maybe interesting to engage more the national quality and accreditation bodies in the Arab world. You know, we have actually about 13. Most of the Arabian countries now have their proper national body, and as you know, leadership and governance, quality assurance is very important. And this is a very, I believe it's a very important and a good aspect to train and to help our colleagues to go on with the quality assurance procedures at the level of management, and I think it's very important to go on through this also way, maybe taking contact to disseminate, and even maybe ministers. As you know, some ministers like in Lebanon, we can be helpful to disseminate information. As we will make a link, we can make a link for the website of Arelen and send information to different universities to be more engaged in this process. It's very important, I believe. There is a role for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Dr. Masoud, once again. Masoud, مظبوط. Masoud Kareem.
Very close to it. My name is Rashid.
Rashid.
Rashid, yes. That's from the Rushd.
Rushd.
Guidance. And I hope I am guided to the best.
Professor Guidance.
Thank you. Since you called me this name, I will suggest something to guide Arelen.
Please.
Hopefully.
Please.
You know, I would suggest that you approach international companies, especially Europeans, which works in the region, also big Arab companies, to sponsor this very great effort that will help the whole area. So this effort will actually help the economy of this area by assuring, you know, good practices in this field. So again, you should officially approach companies that works in the area. And I know, like, for example, the British Air Force used to sponsor great things, you know, research, and they have annual, I think, funding. So other companies will do that as part of their social responsibility. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Can we ask you for a favor? that will include your name among the steering committee now, since you have good ideas, and then we're looking for marketing team, and will be one of us that you are going to work with us. Can we add your name to the steering committee of this, Arlene?
It will be my pleasure. Arlene is attractive by the name and also
course.
the objectives. Thank you.
Yes. It is attractive and beautiful. ضيف اسم الدكتور مرشود كريم رشود الله عرفن بحالك الله يا اخونا.
My name is Dr. Saad Al-Zahrani, the Assistant General Secretary of the National Commission for Accreditation in Saudi Arabia. I would suggest that since you are going to have the rectors and vice rectors next month here in Amman, really to make like a survey or some focus. I was talking to David today about the leadership as a an important standard in most of our quality assurance agencies. So if the Arlene can focus on several projects related to quality assurance, which are not addressed at this time by the quality agencies, it would be much needed. And rectors and vice rectors, for example, we did several with the British Council training for vice rectors in UK and Australia and other places, but we did not have very good success because people are busy. When you bring this to them in the region, maybe more people will be more willing, especially when you have the audience from the same status. You focus certain workshop for for example, the rector, the vice rectors, it will be more appealing to them. But when you invite them sometime with other faculty, some of them are hesitant, and this sometimes hinder our effort. So I suggest at least if Arlene can focus on 3 or 4 projects for the next 2 years, focus on it. Leadership is one of it. Integrity in leadership is another. Making really good strategic thinking in the leadership. There are several substandards that we are dealing with, and we find from our reviews that there are very much needed focus in those areas. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Saad. Really, you have suggested good ideas, and we are going to take into consideration those things. As I mentioned in my speech this morning, our objectives and our goals for the future, yes, of course, we have included the quality assurance, and this is very important. And I don't know if you know that we have the Arab Council for Quality Assurance and Accreditation here. And Dr. Musallam used to be part of the board of this. And now we are really happy to hear from you about the suggestion. Also, like mobility, internationalization, globalization, those important aspects for Arlene for the future. Yes, we are not going to limit the work or the effort on the small things. We have to expand to different subjects, inshallah. Please, Alfredo.
Professor Moscadini from Cardiff University. I was thinking, people might think, what's the difference between Arlene and the Arab Association? What does Arlene give extra? Because the Arab Association has 260 members. You have regular meetings. You all meet together, discuss internationalization, global leadership, etc., etc. Why have another network called Arlene? And I think the big difference is that in Arlene, it's the bridge. In the Arab Association, you are Arabic universities meeting together, discussing internationalization. But in Arlene, you've got, hopefully, we're going to have equal membership of European universities and Arabic universities. And it's this interaction that makes a difference between Arelen and the other associations. So we must encourage. We've got a lot of help. I'm very thankful for Sally Ward at British Council, who, as you say, she's organising 15 European universities to be here, and we hope the British Council will continue to support us. And the European universities want to be associated with the Arab universities for financial purposes, because we want students. So, but there's no problem about attracting European universities to Arabic countries. So this is what I think we should emphasise. And the second point is, I think, why should a president of an Arab university do anything? Because he's using staff time, he's very busy. I think the role of the ministries is very important. I think if the ministries we don't want money from the ministries, what we want is the ministries to say, Arlene's a good thing. And universities who are in Arlene, or work with Arlene, are doing a good job. And I think that would encourage the universities to actually participate in Arlene. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alfredo. You are really right. And that's exactly what we have been doing with our partners in Europe. When we started last year, the first Arab-European Conference in Higher Education, with collaboration of the European University Association and also with Barcelona University. And this year, in June 10 to 12 of this June 2014, we will have the second Arab Euro Conference here in Amman. Therefore, through all our colleagues and friends here from the European universities, we invite all of you to participate in this conference. And yes, you are right, Arlene is going to work as a bridge between our side and your side. And we have been doing this for the last 15 centuries. We are learning from each other, and we are working together. Who is the closest to us, to the Arab region? If we are talking about the MENA region, the Middle East and North Africa, it is Europe. I will give you just small information that in the 7th century and in the 8th century, the first ever established university in the world was like Zaytuna University in Tunisia, and Al-Qarawiyya University in Morocco, and then Al-Azhar al-Sharif in Egypt, and then Al-Mustansiriya University in Iraq. During that time, a lot of European scholars and students used to come and study in our region here. And this helped the European Revolution, the European scientific revolution. And you have learned from us that time, and now we are learning from you. This is a cycle. Therefore, science, education, research does not have borders. Yes, we have to work with you, and we have to get together. We have to sit together, and that's exactly what we are doing. In October, next October, we will be meeting in Chemnitz Technical University, and we are working with the French and the Greek universities, and as well as the Italian and the British universities. Therefore, we have to work together, and this is good and benefit for both of us. You are really right. I guess people now, they are eager for the lunch at 1 o'clock. We are coming close to 1 o'clock. Anybody wants to raise any question or comments? For the steering committee, therefore we have really very limited number of the steering committee. It will be headed by Professor Muhammad Rafat, who is on my right-hand side, as well as, where is Professor Dimitris, yes, you will be in this committee. Claudia as well, yes, and of course Professor Ahmed Al-Johari, Abu Bakr, Laith, and our dear friend رشود مظبوط الحكي ولا صح مرة صحيحة رشود. And we are going to add some, because we have requested some people to be in this committee. شو اسمها؟ from Hayman. Mrs. Mr. ولا Mr. والله احكي اسمه ولا ما اعرفش احكيها بس. والله احكيها.
And Bastian Bauman will be with
والله
us.
برافو عليك يا زلمه بصراحه حكيته انت. بس والله ما انا فهم عليك انت.
والله أنا مش عارف.
Therefore, once again, we thank you so much for coming here for this important event. And we would love to see Arlene as a bride, a beautiful bride, attractive bride for the future. And we are going to have the lunch within a few minutes. And then we will meet at 2:30 for the governance. And then 4 o'clock for the steering committee. And the workshop will start today. And I hope all the participants in the workshop, because we have some names and we have some missing names, please check with us about your name to be among the participants in this workshop. Professor Rafat loves the area which is behind the building here. We have a nice garden, and you enjoy the sun. You can take your lunch and enjoy the sightseeing outside the building.
You can oversee a man from the hill, so it's quite a nice scenery, really.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
لا لا ما مش حاضر مش حاضر مش حاضر.
بقول لك الجفرنس يجتمعوا وين؟